24 through 27, it says, get to it. Do you not know that in a race all the runners run, but only one gets the prize? Run in such a way to get the prize. Everyone who competes in the games goes into strict training. They do it to get a crown that will not last, but we do it to get a crown that will last forever. Therefore, I do not run like someone running aimlessly. I do not fight like a boxer beating air. No, I strike a blow to my body and make it my slave, so that after I have preached to others, I myself will not be disqualified for the prize. And I think that relates to all of us in a way, because we're all athletes, and we're all competing for a prize in some way, whether it's a championship or something in class or anything like that. And we definitely know that we want the prize, and that's mainly the reason why we work for that. And that's what it's saying in the first verse, verse 24. It's saying that all runners run to get the prize. And it's saying you should run in such a way to get the prize. And then verse 25 says, everyone who competes in the games goes into strict training. They do it to get a crown that will not last, but we do it to crown that will last forever. Which, if you think about it, which one do you work for more? We kind of get in a way to where we're working for athletics more than we are for Christ, and it should be the opposite, to where our spiritually training is higher than our physically training, and it's not because God comes first before sports, but it gets to a way to where we're training for sports more than we are for God, whenever God should be first, and we should be training just as much as we are in sports. So I think that's definitely a verse that we should memorize and just keep in our hearts, so that we just tell ourselves that we should be training more for God than we are for sports. So, and that should only be on Sundays, but every day of the week. And then verse 26 and 27, it says, I'm going to strike a blow to my body and make it my slave. And we all know what training's like. It can be rough. I just think it's saying that we're going to do as much as we can and sacrifice our body to get the prize that we work for. I mean, we work out and we're sore every day, and we're all doing that for a state championship or something. And it should be the same with Christ. We should be training so much that our head is hurting and all that, but we still do it because we want the prize, which is heaven. And that the prize comparison, heaven is so much more than just a championship or even a Super Bowl. Heaven's forever. A Super Bowl or championship only lasts for one night. And then 1 Timothy 4:8-9. For physical training is of some value, but godliness has value for all things, holding promise for both the present life and the life to come. This is a trustworthy statement that deserves full acceptance. And I think that's basically the same thing. It's saying physical training has of some value, which is the only value of this little time on earth, and it could help, but spiritually training, it can help you on earth and through heaven. And on earth, it'll help you get to heaven. So I think that spiritual training should definitely be higher than physical training, whenever it can help you with this little time on earth and then heaven for eternity after. And I think it's basically saying the same thing in that last verse. It says, this is a trustworthy statement that deserves full acceptance. And a trustworthy statement in a perfect book might be pretty helpful if you think about it. So I think that definitely deserves full acceptance. But really, we all say we can do these things, but can we act on it though? Can we actually work for it and have that thing that pushes us towards working harder every day spiritually, just like it does in athletics and pushing for a championship or anything? Can we push towards working harder and spiritually and sharing Christ with others and all that kind of stuff. And another thing to add to that is it's crazy how proud we are of our school. I mean, everyone in the school will be proud that they go to Union. And that's part of the reason is because we win in a lot of the things we do. And I mean, how could you not be proud of a school like that? We get a new jersey or something, and we wear it proud, make sure everyone sees it. We're really cocky about our school. So I think we should be the same way with Christ. We should wear Christ on our chest, as everyone knows that we're Christians, and we should wear that every day instead of just on Sundays and that kind of stuff. So I'm just saying we should be just as cocky and as confident in Christ as we are with sports and all that kind of stuff. I mean, and the prize is so much more, as I said before. And if you want to put it into comparison, remember those things in like 5th grade when you say this is to that as this is to that. You could say Super Bowl is to heaven as football is to life. Saying Super Bowl and heaven are both the prize. And heaven's definitely a lot more better than that. But football is to life. Football, you're working for the Super Bowl. In life, you're working towards heaven. Which, same thing, Super Bowl or heaven. Heaven's way higher than that. So we should be working more on this side than we are with physically. Even though physically can help us a little bit, but spiritually definitely can help us a lot more. And if everyone saw the cockiness and the confidence and all the happiness that we had in Christ, then they would definitely ask about it and start being interested in all that, because they would want that confidence and happiness just like they have in their own school. So they'd ask about that, and that's our time to share and shine the Lord's love. You show them, bring them to FCA or church or whatever you have to do, and it really could, if every one of us could do that, it could really change our school. And I think God just put that verse on my mind to speak. I mean, once I saw it, I don't know, it was on my mind to ask Doc to come and talk about it. So that's really all I have.
Anybody have any questions, comments? Can I make a comment on it?
Yeah.
You can take that a step further. That was awesome what he shared this morning, and I especially think for a 15-year-old, are you 15? Yeah, a 15-year-old to come up with that is pretty awesome too. If you make Jesus number one, and then commit your football, your basketball, your baseball, your soccer, whatever it is that you do, you commit that to him, and you're playing for him, and not just your school, not just your team, not just yourself, but for God, you will push yourself further. You will go harder, and you will be more successful because you're representing God. And I've told you the story about when we went to Canton, Ohio, played football when Tress Way was a senior. I guess that was their senior year. And we go there, and they're just thinking Union's going to play, Canton McKinley High School, no big deal. It's going to be on television. It's nice. It's another state, but no big deal. Until they introduced the starting lineups, and they didn't introduce Union as Union, they introduced them as Oklahoma. And these guys went berserk. I mean, it was just like, we're representing the whole dang state of Oklahoma. We got to go out there and show them. And just because they were representing something even bigger than their school, it made them more excited, made them play a little bit harder. We went out and won like 31-6 or something like that. Killed them. We weren't even supposed to be on the field with them. Here's the deal. The higher the thing you're playing for, or the person you're playing for, the harder you'll go, the more you'll work, the better you'll be. And so you take what he talked about today, put God first. That's going to make you work even harder on the other side, but you're doing it for the right reasons. You take what God gave you and you give it back to him, and he can make more of it. You all know the story when Jesus fed the 5,000. Everybody was sitting around, no food to eat. He told his disciples, feed them. Of course, his disciples panicked, said, well, we don't have any food. So go find out what they had. One little boy had a sack lunch, a few loaves of bread, and a few fish. And Jesus took it and fed the whole group. Now, if that boy had kept it, do you think it would have fed this whole group? No. If that disciple that had it there, if he had kept it, do you think he could have fed the whole group? No, Jesus can take what we put in his hands and make it go much further and better